The knife paused midair, silver catching the chandelier light. My brother smiled across the table, warm and practiced, as if nothing in the world could crack him, as if he hadn't just finished lying for the third time that evening. "She's loyal," he said, cutting into the cake. "Always has been." The word loyal landed wrong. Too clean, too confident. I watched the frosting cling to the blade. White, thick, perfect. My phone vibrated once in my pocket. I didn't look. I already knew what it would say. Her laughter floated from the other end of the table, light, careless. The laugh of someone who believes the story she paid for. The laugh of someone who thinks money erases footprints. I felt the familiar tightening in my chest. Not anger, not yet. Calculation. This was her party, her celebration, funded with stolen money that had passed through hands I trusted, hands that shared my blood. My brother lifted the first slice of cake, still smiling, proud, protective. He looked at me like I was still blind. That was the moment I understood something simple and final. They didn't think I would stand up. It started weeks earlier, with a silence that lasted half a second too long. We were alone, my brother and I. The kitchen smelled like coffee and burnt toast. He wouldn't meet my eyes. "She's under a lot of pressure," he said casually, too casually. "You should trust her." I hadn't asked. That's how it always begins. The defense arrives before the accusation. I told myself I was imagining it, that I was tired, that suspicion was just another form of paranoia. But doubt doesn't announce itself loudly. It whispers. It repeats itself in quiet rooms. I noticed the money first. Small transfers, disguised as favors, party expenses, loans repaid too neatly. My money moving in ways I didn't authorize, routed through accounts that wore my brother's name like a mask. Then came the smiles, shared glances, private jokes that didn't include me. I watched her phone once, face down on the table, vibrating endlessly while she smiled at my brother instead. I told myself families don't betray each other like this. I told myself love doesn't hire witnesses. But the truth kept surfacing in fragments. A receipt here, a deleted message there, a party planning invoice paid from an account that should have been untouched, and always my brother, standing between us, soft voice, calm hands. "She would never hurt you," he said. That was when I realized the betrayal wasn't just emotional, it was funded. I didn't confront them. I don't do chaos, I do patience. I pulled bank statements late at night when the world was quiet enough to hear lies breathing. I traced transactions the way a hunter tracks blood through snow, clean, methodical, unrushed. I requested records under the guise of audits, asked questions that sounded harmless, smiled when they smiled. I watched my brother's confidence grow. He believed I was still his younger sibling, naive, emotional, easy to manage. I watched her plan the party, a celebration of loyalty, of trust, of us. The irony tasted metallic. I hired a forensic accountant, then a lawyer, then another. Every step was invisible, every move silent. I rehearsed the ending alone, not with rage, but with precision. Timing mattered, audience mattered. Truth is most effective when it arrives dressed as a gift. They grew careless. People always do when they think they've won. My brother approved one final transfer, large, bold, my money paying for her moment. That night, I slept peacefully. The truth was already mine.
The evidence arrived in a thin folder. No drama, no shock. Just numbers, signatures, dates. Proof of embezzlement, proof of conspiracy, proof that my brother hadn't just defended her, he'd sold me. I invited him for dinner 2 nights before the party. Just us, family. I slid the folder across the table without a word. He opened it. His hands trembled once. "I can explain," he said. I nodded, calm, detached. I know, I replied. That's why I didn't stop you. His face drained of color. He finally understood. The truth doesn't shout, it settles. Back at the party, the room hummed with music and false joy. I stood up slowly. I have a gift, I said. Silence fell. Cameras lifted. Smiles froze. I walked to my brother, who still held the cake server in his hand. I placed the envelope gently against his chest. Subpoenas. Multiple. Heavy. His fingers opened it instinctively. The cake slipped, hit the floor. White frosting everywhere. Gasps. Confusion. Her laughter died mid-breath. I leaned in close enough for only him to hear. You were paid, I whispered, with my money. His knees buckled. I straightened, turned to the room, and smiled for the cameras. I left before the police arrived. Outside, the air was cold and clean, honest. I felt nothing. No victory, no sadness, just clarity. Blood doesn't mean loyalty. Love doesn't mean protection. Control does. Behind me, a family collapsed under the weight of truth they thought they'd buried. I didn't look back. Some betrayals don't break you. They teach you how to walk away without carrying the dead weight of forgiveness.